Hey, what's up, gang? It is Adam, and it is Spotlight for Commander. What I am working on today, actually, yes, I'm going to make this really good, Ibukaki, is I am redoing my Akiri Line Slinger deck. So as you can see here, I have Akiri sitting there. My original Commander, and I'll show you really quick. So I had the, what's his name? Silas Ren Seeker Adept. So it was this guy right here. And I liked it, but I never used him as my commander. Like, it just didn't do anything with him. And the other thing is, this deck was made right before we started doing this cast, or actually about simultaneously at the same time. So there's still tutors in this deck. So that's why I wanted to get this one filtered out. I don't ever play this one because of the tutors and such. But with treasures aren't dumb, Dempsey. Just like Ristic Study, what the hell is wrong with you? So what I wanted to do here is redo some stuff. I can kind of tell you some of this. So I have, those are the 3 tutors. They're all, and that kind of fits today because it's May the 4th be with you. And I have, these are all designs that I did here, except for the Enlightened one. So that's how old it is because I've done this one in Yoda, but not like this. But these 2 arts are 2 that I have done. Oh, good for me.
Oh, good for you.
And they're pretty sexy. I wish I could use them more, but because I don't tutor anymore, I don't have the fart sound either ready. Wait, there we go. Since I don't do that anymore, I don't ever play these, and I love them a lot. So it kind of sucks that I'm not playing with those, but got rid of a bunch of stuff there. You have Brea that I was taking out. You know, it was a big artifact theme, but mainly equipment was what I was dealing with before. And this is a pretty powerful deck. I did enjoy this a lot. But with the treasures, actually, I need to turn down my music. Gosh, it was kind of blaring. I had it loud for you guys when you were waiting and everything like that. With treasures, it kind of piqued my interest a little bit. To use that with the new Capenna stuff, especially since we're getting a lot of support with that. So the one thing we're missing with that is green. So with Partner Commander, I thought Kodama could be pretty interesting. I don't know exactly how I want to do this. I was thinking I could have done, what's her nuts? The blue-green broken Commander. Why am I brain farting on that? See, when I come up with, I know what the name, I know what the card does. I just don't know the name. But I didn't want to use that because it added 4 colors in, and I think it was just getting a little too crazy. I really just needed the green and red are the 2 I really wanted because those are your main treasure stuff. And white has a lot of fun stuff in it, especially from this set. And so that's why I'm excited to do this. I'm not saying I'm not doing equipment at all, but I'm leaning towards more trying to do everything with treasures. So, I have my deck right here and actually there's more in here that I probably need to add that I've been kind of pulling off to the side. So I'm going to cross-reference as we're going through this to make sure I got it in there. So let me kind of give you an idea of what I'm saying here. So with Kodama, when this is out, if you play a treasure, you technically can play a land from your hand. You can, hello, boobies. Thanks for, I'll give you that. Hang on a second. Let me get to that. I should have that hello boobies button ready.
Hello, boobies.
Just for when people stop in and give a hello boobies. That's all I really want to hear. So when you're playing a land with this, or a treasure, if you're playing the treasures out, you're playing, it's whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put there from this ability, put something equal or lesser. So there's some kind of fun stuff. I did a few things with 0 casting costs. I don't know if they're going to stay in there per se at the end, but I put them in here to kind of give you that idea. So like if I'm playing a treasure, let me just give you an example really quick. Let's see. Where are my 0? Okay, so like Glimpse of Tomorrow. I don't have to suspend it because it's 0 casting cost. So if I play a treasure, I play this for free. Problem is this one is shuffle all of your permanents into your library, then reveal that many cards from the top of your library. You put permanents into play is the main thing with that. There is a lot of permanents in this. So that's why I'm kind of like, oh, this one could be kind of fun because if I have a ton of treasures out there, I could go shuffle everything back in and then play a whole bunch of cards all at once. I just have to kind of, this will determine how many instants and sorceries I have in there. If I have a lot of them, then this one I don't want to do because I don't want to hit cards and them just fizzle, you know, because it needs to be a permanent. Gee, what a surprise that you're doing green and red. Hey, no, yes, there's white in there. And actually, that's what I'm more excited about is white, is the new white stuff that we got in this. What the hell? My music went into the Diablo stuff. Hang on a second. Oh, I know why. Because I went through the whole thing. Give me a sec. Let me get my music back up here. Little bastard went into my not repeating everything. So let me get my... We're now over an hour, and that isn't because of this. It's also because we did the drawing beforehand. So that's why that kicked in. All right, let's play this again. And now I just need to put it on repeat. That's kind of funny. I was like, what the hell is going on? We'll go through repeat once. And if it does it again, I'll have to just kick it back on there. All right, so what do we got? Ibukaki says at least that means protection racket won't be in this. You little bastard. You just got to poke. Kodama only puts permanents in suspend sorceries. Yeah. No. That's not what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, that is. You're right. With the sorcery. Then, okay, so that actually helps me with that. Another permanent. So that solves this. Look at this. We're removing a card. But there is another one. I was doing what started me triggering that was, thanks for that, Grave Pact. I forgot about that it is permanence. Where are my other ones? I had, so now that we're on it, I got to get all those suspend ones and just check because it is the Soul Ring one. So we got the Soul Talisman. That one will work. See, I have a few zeros. Those I got the Lotus Bloom, which works for that. Mox Tantalite works for that. So that's where I was going with that. And then what was green's? Green was the Gaia's one, but I think I already took that one out. Yep. And then the volume went way down on my music. Hang on. There we go. Need some... Yeah, white has gotten really good lately. And we did that episode back in December, I think, where he said, is white the new best color? The amount of stuff that white has it's insane. Like, it's so, like, it made me want to do, like, that's actually, I'll be honest, the stuff that got released, I was like, why am I not really taking advantage of white's treasure making, everything like card advantage stuff? So that's kind of what got me to switch with that. Okay, I think that's it for the suspend stuff. Everything else is a permanent, so those should work. So we got one card down. We are at 182, and I do have to mess. That is including my mono base. I have 38. Those still need to be adjusted because there are some other cards I found later that I wanted to add. That won't be today. This is the last step as I hit up this stuff. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to kind of go through and show you all the different stuff that I have in here, different ideas. Things might get cut right away because a lot of this I wanted to put out there so you could see it. So the other side of this, why I want to go treasures, is there is this advantage of having ramp built in, but it also helps my Akiri line slinger. So I'm getting these treasures, and treasures are just ridiculous now. And when we got the Dungeons and Dragons Commander Legends coming out, bet you there's going to be more treasures in there. So I'll probably have a little bit more to work with. And they did, I think it was Mark Rosewater was saying that green is supposed to be the secondary treasure maker. So red is our main, green is our second. Well, this kind of showed it in this last set. They're adding a lot more green treasure stuff. So we'll see what if that's the case, that's really why I wanted to get green mixed in there. And Kodama will be really fun. And even though it's 6, when you're getting all those treasures and ramp, this should be fantastic and easy to get out with that. So let's see, I saw a couple things pop up here. It used to be remove stacks, and then they've done good job of getting other things. All the colors are pretty even now. It's just a spin. Oh, did you see the wheel in there? Where's my source? Oh, yeah, there it is. Wheel of Fate. Let's get rid of that too. Thank you. All right, we are down to 181. We only need 81 more cards to get rid of here. So, all right, so let's start going through this whole shebang of stuff here. I did kind of start grouping things a little bit. Let me pop this up so you guys can see the blueprint stuff. So this is kind of what we go by, our list of things. I'm going to get it popped up for myself. That is for you guys. So with that, you know, you can see we don't have like tutors and stuff in there because that's not what we use. But this is kind of the idea. I don't normally pop this up right away because this is probably going into part 2 is when I start really paying attention to this more. This go around is I'm going to go through the whole deck. We're going to maybe do cuts as we're going there and then go through and start refining things a little bit more. So let's see. Look at your gray pack being helpful. It's not just a troll. What a noob. Yeah, you two are just on here to be trolls. I want some advice. And I'll say that does help because I know Zero gave me some advice on the last deck of a card that I really love that I missed putting in there. So if you guys think of anything that would fit, definitely up for suggestions. I'll take a look at them and see if I want to add that or not, or maybe even put it on sideboard stuff. So, okay, let's get going on this. So we'll start off with the artifact bonus stuff. So this is all that glitters, enchant creature gets 1/1 for each artifact or enchantment you control. So this is just a double bonus of that. That was one of the cool things that Akiri did when I had it was as the equipment. You had that armadillo armor, I believe it's called. It's the black equipment that adds 1+0 for the as many artifacts, and that was killer. Like, because I could put that on something else. This being 1+1 is pretty sweet. So this is probably staying here. That's what these two are doing. So this is doing it for 2 turns. 1+1 for each artifact or enchantment control. Then you exile this. I forget what the flip side. Where is my flip? Flip this card. So then it gets 1+1 for each. So it turns into this. So these are going to stay on here because this is doing what Akiri is doing. Yeah, it won't be doing commander damage, but we have things that are repeating what this is doing. And so those are definitely staying on there. Yes, Grave Pact, I appreciate you with the suggestions because that saves me. That helps me out. If there's easy cuts or I want suggestions too. I don't know everything. I like hearing other people's thoughts, and sometimes that really helps, and that's why I enjoy you guys being here. All right, so Anointed Procession is pretty easy. We're going to make tokens. We're going to get more than 1 token. That's going to be the same for Doubling Season. That's going to be the same for Parallelize. Primal Vigor. Panharmonicon is going to double up whatever our triggers are. So I got the main guys on there that really matter for those, so I won't go over those again. Curse of the Opulence, this is adding gold, not treasure, but it's still an artifact. So that's kind of nice. I like this card a lot. Max is an interesting one. So whenever you cast your second spell each turn, untap target creature, then investigate. So the investigate is creating the clues. Now I just have to figure out as if I think I'll be casting more than 1 spell because I have a lot of ramp and a lot of treasure. So I think this one's actually going to be a good add into this. There's actually a couple legendary creatures that I think are going to be good for this. The next one being the same thing. This has hexproof and multicolor, but the main thing of this is the multicolored spells, which that's what I got to figure out is how many multicolored spells do I have in this deck? And that won't be necessarily today. But it creates a 4/4 red and white golem artifact creature token. So we're adding artifacts. This is only 3 to come out. I don't even know what's my mana value with just everything out there. So we are looking at where is the stats on that? It's been a couple months since I built my last deck, so now I have to remember all this. Where are the stats? Okay, so we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this. I know there was an easy way to look at my stats down below, and I thought that was right here. Oh, here we go. Main board 2.42 with lands and 3.07 without. So that's pretty good. Everything's low casting cost. How many counter spells? Dude, wrong color, buddy. Otherwise, I'd be playing a ton of them. No, I wouldn't play any. So, okay. Let's keep moving on. Gilded Goose. This is creating food tokens. I hate food, but it's artifact tokens. You get one right away. It comes into play. It's giving you a food token. You can sacrifice the food for mana. That's always good. So this is, and it's a token generator. Yes, I have to tap 2 to do it, but it's a way that I can generate tokens, and it's only a 1-drop. So that's, yes, there is a Basilisk Collar in there. There is also my other spear, Shadow Spear as well, so don't worry about it. Yeah. Academy Manufacturer is just an auto-include in any deck that is making clue, treasure, or food tokens. If you're doing that, that card has to be in there. It's so insane. That card is so insane. All right, so then Hellkite Tyrant. I mean, this is kind of a given. I guess I didn't even think of my game winners because this is a Voltron type deck. This is my game winner. It's more of trying to get them through. I don't know if I'll do this or not because I have that in my Magda deck. Magda's actually in here as well because of creating treasure tokens. And now, hang on, really quick, just now that I'm thinking about it, I want to make sure I have that enchantment, that saga that creates the token. What is it called again? I spec'd on it. Balls, what is it? It's the one that, oh, there it is. Okay, I just want to make sure I had it. Fable the Mirror Breaker. We'll get to that later. I had it in my mind that I needed that in, and I didn't want to forget. Okay, so Hellkite Tyrant's nice because then you can do the damage. You gain control of all the artifacts. I mean, it probably needs to go in here because that just gets through. I can take artifacts, and then my commander's even that much bigger. That probably stays in. This says Lieutenant at the beginning of your combat on your turn. If you control your commander, you get a 1/1 Thopter. And it has haste. So this, if you have your commander, it's continuously creating a 1/1 artifact, so your commander just gets that much bigger. All right, let me see what you wrote here. Dempsey, your deck sucks. Number 2 needs to show you how to build a deck. Magda, I thought you didn't play tutors. I don't play tutors. It doesn't say tutor on it. Olivia's Attendance. So this is a little bit higher casting cost. It's 6 for a 6/6 menace, so it is a little evasive there. But when it deals damage, create that many blood tokens. That's kind of huge because you can do direct damage if you wanted. So you could tap the 3 direct damage to a player and make a blood token. It's a little high on the casting cost, but as you saw, we have our total value of this deck is pretty low. So that's going to stay in there for now. Yeah, I didn't win with that deck either because Mr. Cole made the deal. He's like, don't worry, Ibukaki, don't kill that. And then told, who was the other person that was next to me? It was somebody else next to me. And then Zero wiped the board. Yeah, that was fun. Oscar. So this is kind of cool because as my other artifacts are hitting the graveyard, I can sacrifice them, or I can sacrifice artifacts, but I can exile the artifacts and create 2 of them. So this seems like a pretty good add in this deck. I'd have to figure out how many actual artifacts I'm going to be playing with. Right now it shows 54. It's obviously not going to stay there. So this just depends on what we get to at the end here. We talked about these 3. Let's move on to Search the Premises. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, investigate. So I believe, yes, it isn't 1 or more. So it's whenever a creature attacks you, you get to investigate. You get to get a clue token. So if they're attacking you with, I want to double check on that. I'm pretty sure because it would say whenever 1 or more creatures attacks you. Yes. Whenever a creature attacks you or planeswalker you control, investigate. So this is just awesome in this. If people are coming at you, you're making tokens. You're making artifacts. It makes your commander that much bigger. Chief Hopper, so another Stranger Things one. But this one, whenever it attacks, you investigate for each non-token attacking creature. So at the very least, you're getting 1 from him. But you're probably attacking with Akiri, so you're getting 2 tokens. So Akiri gets 2+0 for that. So it's a no-brainer to have in this. I'm going to be attacking. That's what this deck does. You just need him to get through. And he has Menace, so that should help a little bit with that. Sram's Expertise, making 3 servo tokens, so 3 artifacts. And then you cast something for 3 or less for free. It is a sorcery, so that's a little bit tough to not do any surprise stuff, but that gets your commander 3 power bigger right away. So that's why that's in there. Tamio's Journal, we're investigating every up at the beginning of your upkeep. You can sacrifice and yes, go to tutor for a card, but it fits in the theme. If it fits in the theme, I will use tutors. This is completely fitting in the theme. Underworld Clock, discard a card, create a food token. I mean, it's okay. It's creating a food token. Maybe late game I'm getting land in hand and I just want to get rid of a land or a garbage card. Maybe I want Oscar's out and this is out. But to do the situation of 2 cards depending on each other, if that's the only situation, that's terrible logic there. But I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use this. Is that I like that it's only a tap. If it was tap mana to do what it's doing, then I might not go that route. But maybe I might if Academy Manufacturer is out or if Oscar's out. So now we have 2 cards that are kind of depending on it. Or if these other ones are out where we're making 2 tokens. So then it becomes maybe a little bit more enticing. We do have a little bit of recursion with that. The bottom part is sacrifice it to return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. So that's kind of cool there. Tamiyo's Journal is too slow. I agree with that. I'm hoping, though, because of so many treasures, that it might be easier to cast. But I have found the same thing when I've tried to depend on Tamiyo's Journal. It ends up getting taken out. But we'll see in this. I don't know. It might get a cut later on. So this is easy. Thorough investigation, 2 and a white. Whenever you attack, investigate. So that one is not how many creatures. If you attack with 5, you're only getting 1 clue token off of it. But here, we can venture into the dungeon. I'm guessing we're going to have more dungeons in this next one. So you have a way of sacrificing your clues as well and potentially doing something with the dungeon. So I guess I'm going to have to play dungeons as my sideboard. Tireless Tracker, no brainer. You play a land, investigate. Whenever you sacrifice, that part's secondary. That's not a big deal. It's landfall, giving you tokens. That's what we want. Togo, same thing. Whenever land enters the battlefield, you're getting artifact. It is an equipment that you can put on stuff, but you're getting an artifact every time you're playing a land. So that's pretty good. All right, so now we move into like the draw stuff. Here's where I could lose some stuff because this isn't fitting in theme necessarily. Beast Whisper is really good because it's casting a creature spell and you draw. So it doesn't fit in theme. There's a couple in here that don't necessarily. So this might... let's do this right away. We are going to move to Considering. All right. Benny Brack Zoologist. One of my favorite cards from New Capenna. Now we're going to start getting into the newer stuff. It has Convoke. We talked about this one last week. At the beginning of your end step, create a token, or if you created a token, or at the end of each end step, if you created a token, draw a card. This deck is going to be creating tokens. That's all I'm doing is creating tokens. This is going to draw me a shit ton of cards. Like, I'm going to say go, and then I'm going to play this next card. I'm going to additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, create 2 treasure tokens. Oh, and I will draw an additional card off of that. This is going to be sick together. One thing I do want to point out, so I do have a couple of these discarding. So that would help with Underworld, or not Underworld, Oscar a little bit better. I do have a couple that deal with the discarding. So we have this, that. So Oscar's probably going to stay in here as long as these stay in there as well. If you're going Voltron, then I don't think Beast Whisperer works here. Yeah, I know. I don't think it does either. I just wanted to make sure I had enough draw, but I think I will get enough with the rest of this stuff. Brea's Apprentice. So it enters. It's an artifact, so we get +1 to our commander. It also creates another Thopter, so we get +2 with flying. Now you can sacrifice, give you a little bit of card advantage, or give Akiri a 2+0 bump. Most likely you're going to do the first ability, but this is just nice because you're getting a flyer and you're getting, this is an artifact, so you're getting a 2 bump on this. It's just 1 Thopter, right? Yep, a 2 bump. And then it potential giving you a card advantage when you sacrifice an artifact. So again, fitting with Oscar a little bit. These can work together. So Oscar's more and more looking like a good card in this deck because I'm going to be sacrificing artifacts. Esper Sentinel. Do I need to say any more? Like, I'm happy it's an artifact because that I would just be playing this to play it because it's just a good draw. I mean, there's a couple in here that I have that are just to play it. But Esper Sentinel is just a must add in here, and it gives me a +1 for my Akiri. Lowery pointed this card out yesterday. Family's Favor. Whenever you attack, put a shield counter on target creature. So what I was doing with this was I was thinking Akiri, I'm putting a shield counter on her if she gets through. The more I think about this one, though, it isn't fitting as well as I'd like in this theme. Yeah, it's adding a little bit of protection, but it's not giving me a artifact advantage. The draw only happens if I deal combat damage to a player. If I'm hitting a player with Akiri, they are probably dying very quick because Akiri is supposed to get pretty big with all these treasures. So I'm actually going to cut this one. Even though I do like this card, it does protect it a little bit. Akiri does have the first strike built in on her and vigilance. So a lot of times I don't have to worry about her dying because the first strike really gets through and kills most things. And that's how I plan my attacks normally. So, yeah. You know what else is a good draw? What is another good draw card? I'm guessing you're about to be a cock. All right, so we're going to remove that. So Idol of the Oblivion. So this is, if you get a two drop artifact that draws you cards, that's fantastic. This one does that. You can draw a card if you created a token this turn. So, and it's not at sorcery speed. I can do it on other people's turns. So this is good, and it's an artifact. So now we get a +1 bump and draw effect off of this. This is like perfect in this. And then you could potentially turn it, make a 10/10 Eldrazi. Probably never using that, so let's just kind of ignore that part. But the first part, drawing off of making tokens, Necropotence. Wrong colors, buddy. Doesn't work in this. All right, next one. We got an equipment. Infiltration Lens. So whenever it becomes blocked, so that's fine. You block my Akiri, I will draw 2 cards. This is easy. It's a 1-drop, 1 equip. This is really easy to put in and out. Koldatha Forge Master. This one, yeah, another tutor on it, but it's sacrificing artifacts. So I'm having all those treasure tokens. Then I can search for an artifact and put it on the battlefield. So it's putting it directly into play. This isn't one of the ones that go to your hand. I like this card. I've liked this card for a while. I've had it in when I used to play 60 card decks, but I haven't played with this since. So Life Crafter's Bestiality. This is an artifact, and we're getting some scry abilities and potentially draw off of creature spells. So this one fits a little bit better because it is an artifact than our Beast Whisperer. I would just say build a better deck. No, my deck is, I'm building it. That's what I'm doing. You're supposed to be helping me. Not giving me cards I can't use, bastard. I was thinking about the new Urabrask, actually, Paul. I seriously was thinking about it. I just looked at it today because of what we had talked about. And I'm like, that might not be a bad add into this. All right, so this one, it's the white stuff that I want to use. So it doesn't fit in the theme, but man, look at all that stuff on it. Like, this is just a good card. So we got Lifelink, yeah, that's fine. But whenever an opponent attacks you with creatures, if there are 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you, you draw a card. If an opponent casts their second spell, draw a card. So this is adding some really good draw advantage in here. And think of this. If I add any of the equipment or this, or use this ability onto this guy, my life link goes up that much higher. For now, I'm keeping this in. It doesn't fit necessarily in the theme, but it's playing good white cards. That's what I kind of want to do as a side theme. That's my side theme, is good white cards. Yeah, White Life Crafters is a really good card. I love that. The white stuff. Oh. I used to love Weird Al. I still do. My wife can't stand it, so I can never play it. Master of Ceremonies, one of the new cards from New Capenna, the Commander set. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent chooses money, friends, or secrets. For each who chooses money, that player, you get treasure. For each that chooses friends, you get a token. And for those who choose secrets, you get to draw a card. So this has the treasure built in on it. People could choose if they want treasure. You can get a creature, which that can help in this deck because you're going to equip stuff to make them bigger, or drawing help. So this card, fantastic. Good white stuff right here. Slag Strider, Makeshift Kraken Clash, I'm in. All good removal pieces. All right, I'm going to have to look at those. You know what I'm going to do? When I'm done going through this list, I will write down your suggestions. I got to get a notepad. we go. All right, notepad. I will write down some suggestions, and then I will check those out at the end here. So we got Slag, Strider, Makeshift, that guy. Makeshift. This is really good visuals. Man, you wrote a lot on there. Crook, Clan, Shaman, and Sharpenal. All right. I'll check those out after I get done going through all this and see if those seem like ones I want to add in here. Don't like this one at all. You're giving your opponents to. Yeah, but you're getting a bonus off of that as well. I dig it a lot. Rumor Gatherer from the new Rumor Gatherer. I think I have that in here, don't I? We'll see. I'll write it down. I think I've recognized that I have that in here. Yeah, you're giving your opponents stuff, but you're getting one of three things at the beginning of your... No, you're getting this all in your upkeep, which is probably the fantastic part about this. If this was at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they got to choose, that wouldn't be as good. This is at your upkeep. So yeah, you're getting the draw advantage on your turn. If they decide they want to draw, you could draw up to 4 cards. I'll let my opponents each draw 1 card to my 4 cards. And then you could get creature advantage or treasures. Like there isn't really a downside to this. Yes, you're giving your opponents, but you're getting 3 to their 1, of whatever they choose. So, all right. Ohran, Frostfang. So I liked this. So this one doesn't fit in the theme, but it's attacking creatures you control have death touch. So not only would Akiri have death touch, but first strike. So even if they all out blocked with a whole bunch of stuff, I have first strike. Let's say Akiri's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they block with that many creatures. I can do 1 damage to that, death touch kills it. 1 damage to that, death touch kills it. So that is a fantastic card in itself. And then when it gets through, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So it's not just 1 or more. All your creatures, any of your creatures that get through combat damage, you're drawing. So I like this card a lot in this because that really does help. Pirate's Pillage. This is also like the one up here, except this one's an instant. So I like that a little better. But this draw 2 cards and then put 2 treasure tokens onto the battlefield. You have to discard. So this is just a straight up upgrade, isn't it? It's just instant. Draw 2 cards. Create 2 treasures. Sorcery. Discard a card. Draw 2 cards. Create. Yeah. So this is a straight up better card because it's instant. This one's at common. This one's uncommon. It makes sense. All right. Professional Facebreaker. We talked about this. This is one of my spec cards. Whenever 1 or more creatures deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. That's sweet by itself. Right there, sweet by itself. But if I want, I can sacrifice those treasures and get card advantage. I can play that until end of turn. So it's the Urabrask effect. I can do that on my turn. I can do it on other people. You don't really want to do it on other people's turn, but I can have use for those treasures. Or maybe somebody wipes the board with artifacts. I could sack them all and exile the top cards in my library and hopefully hit like a instant sorcery or something like that. So this seems pretty damn good in this. Return of the Wild Speaker. This is one of the stump cards that AJ did. The reason why I like this is because Akiri's powers should be really high. So this is going to get me a lot of cards. And it's at instant speed. Yeah, it's 5. But Akiri could draw me 7 or 8 cards if I got her power that big. I wanted to make one. And it is not a human. So you potentially could use non-human creatures you control get 3/3 until end turn. Probably not going to use that one. But you could if we were trying to save Akiri. Rishkar's Expertise. Same thing. This one's allowing me to play something for 5 or less. That's pretty nice. Scroll Rack is just good. Set in your top. It's a cheaper version, except not that much. Well, it is cheap. Let's see. Sensei's is $55 or $40, and this is $14 now. But these are just artifacts that are allowing me to set my top, kind of change that up. So those are really good to have in here. Soul's Majesty, draw cards equal to power, so same thing as that. Toski. So Toski was the dealing combat damage, drawing a card thing. So we have that on Oran. I might take this one's going to go to sideboard right away, or considering. Although I think I got to take Toski out because I'm not getting any other advantage with that. At least with this, I'm getting the death touch. Yeah, we'll do it considering. Unexpected Windfall 4 as an addition to discard a card, draw 2 cards. So again, common, doing the same thing as this, but it's an instant spell. Now this does have 2 red in its casting cost as 1, but still, this is just an upgrade to that. So this could get cut because it's a sorcery. I don't like playing sorceries unless they're really OP, but having more multiples of these abilities, that also helps with Oscar as well. All right, now we kind of get into the equipment that I still do have in here. I did have probably like 20 at one point, 20 or 30. So a lot of them got kicked out of here, but the ones that are good, Basilisk Collar, like I told you before, Death Touch, putting that on Akiri is awesome. Blade of Selves. The reason I was putting this on here is there's a lot of creatures that have ETB effects. So I was kind of like the side theme as well in this deck. So I liked the idea of, let's say I had Dockside Extortionist. Attack with Dockside, make 3 other Docksides, get a bunch of artifacts. There's quite a few as we get down to the treasures. We're not even to the treasures yet. So that's why I had that in there. Embercleave could be a game winner, giving it double strike and trample. Akiri, yikes. That could be brutal. The gold pick is whenever it deals combat damage, get a treasure token like that. Continues to get bigger. Then we have the other one as well, which is the Prime Blade. So they're flipped. So this costs 2 attached for 1. This costs 1 attached for 2. And then this is a 1+1 instead of the 1+0. So those seem pretty good. Helm of the Host is always good, doing multiples of what you want to do with your commanders. If I start getting more of my commander out, that's fantastic. Infiltration Lens, we already talked about that. Lightning Greaves, it's just protecting my commander. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, you discard a card. This one, I don't know. This one I'm actually going to move because I don't. Most of the time, Akiri's going to get blocked. That one's going to be considering still. Martyr's Bond is nutty against other artifact decks. Yeah, that one is pretty good, actually. I'll check that one out, too, at the end here. Yeah, I'll check that out later. Okay, so then we got, where are we at? We're boom to there. Rogue's Gloves deals combat damage to a player, so that's the same thing, drawing a card. Yeah, we'll move that one to considering as well. Shadow Spears there, we talked about that. Swiftfoot Boots, yes. Hearth and Home, of course, this is good. I think it's fantastic. And then what's the other part of it? Whenever equipped creature, exile up to 1 target creature you own. Oh, so a flicker effect. That's why I really like this, because like I was talking about earlier with Blade of Selves, getting that flicker effect with... I'm going to keep using Dockside until I get down to the treasure stuff, but having that flicker effect with your creatures and being able to ETB again is just great. Sword of Animus, so we're going to get basic land. This is just good. Trailblazer Boots gives me that unblockability potentially. For the most part, everybody's playing non-basics. Whisper Silk Cloak, protection, and unblockable. These are my kind of game winners for Akiri as well. All right, let's pass the lands. Let's get to the main idea. Oh, I only have 3 things in there. So I started adding a couple different things into there. So this is whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, target creature gains double strike and lifelink. So this is just comes in. I can give Akiri double strike. It has first strike already, but double strike's even better. And then the lifelink added on that. Pretty good. Lowery, this is one of Lowery's favorite cards, or from that set. Wasn't that the Dungeons and Dragons one, I think? But it's whenever... Oh, no. This was last year's Strixhaven ones, I think. Yeah, it's Strixhaven, I think. So whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 2 if you do create a 0/0 colors. So you have to cast, but this is doing that ability I was talking about above. It gets 1+1 for each artifact you control. So this is doing another Akiri effect. So we have we have Akiri, the 2 others, and this now 4 things that potentially are doing the same thing gaining bonuses off of other artifacts. And it's creating an artifact in itself. So this is nice whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, 1 damage to each opponent. Going to be doing a lot of damage. All right, so now we get into some of the protection stuff. I think I want to keep most of this in here. Chroma's Will. This is just a sick card for white. Just if you have your commander, choose them both, where creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, double strike until end of turn, or they gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors. This is potentially game winner right there. Boros Charm gives my permanents indestructible. Deflecting Swat is a fantastic red card. This is that flicker effect. It's also saving my stuff. So I can exile any number of target creatures you control, return those to battlefield under your control at the beginning of your next end step. So if somebody does a board wipe, you could play this, save all your creatures, but then if you have enough ETB stuff, you're gaining that. Or you could just do an ETB effect with that. Flawless Maneuver gives them indestructible. Ghostway does a very similar thing to Eerie Interlude, except for you have to do it for every creature. This one you at least get to choose. So if you had like equipment attached, they would all fall off when you're doing this. So you don't get a choice with Ghostway. We talked about this on the cast. Grand Cassendo. This is great. You can just tap 2 and indestructible. Heroic Intervention, indestructible, hexproof. We already talked about that. Teferi's Protection, yes. And then Teamer Sabertooth. So you can return another creature control to your owner's hand. If you do, Teamer gains indestructible. This was more for the bounce. So if I wanted to play that flicker type stuff in there, you just keep giving me more stuff. you give me homework. I appreciate it. Fangren Marauder. I'll check that out. So after we get done with going through this list, I will check out all the ones. We'll pull it up here so we can kind of go over it together. All right. So now we get into the ramp. Lots of artifacts. Oh, here's one I need to get rid of. Gay as well. I thought it was gone. Remove. That's at 0. Arcane Signet. Obviously. Artifact. Good. Blink Moth Urn. Beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase. If it's untapped, that player adds X for how many artifacts. So I'm going to be gaining a lot. Chromatic Lantern, yes. Commander Sphere, yes. Courser of the Crewfix. So this is where I'm starting to get into trying to... What I started to do was try to get a lot of landfall things to get my land out as fast as possible, because what I was thinking was getting land into my hand, because what I was thinking with Kodama, when those treasures enter, like I mentioned before, if I've already played my land for turn, now I'm playing multiple lands. And so that was kind of the point of this. Crucible of Worlds, play lands from your graveyard. Yes. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, play more land. Keeper of the Accord. So this one is creating tokens and potentially getting land, depending on if you're behind. I really want to play with this card, but at the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, create a 1/1. I'm most likely Voltron, so each opponent's end step. So most likely I'll have less. Beginning of each opponent's end step, that player controls more lands than you. For a basic land, planes, put in play tapped. For now, it'll stay here. This one might get a cut. Same with land tax. Land tax is really good. Lotus Bloom, we are doing... The only thing I don't like is the sacrifice. Dang bug, get out of here. I don't like the sacrifice with Lotus Bloom. I like things to stay on. But if I'm using Oscar, we're keeping it here for now. Monocrypt, 0 drop. Metal Worker, reveal any number of artifacts. You can tap that for mana. Just seems good. With green, you shouldn't be behind on land. Yeah, you're probably right. But I don't have a lot of ramp that you would think that you normally do with green because of the theme wise. So then you're seeing here because it's a lot of artifact stuff. Mox Amber, my stuff should be legendary. Mox Opal, Mox Tantalite, Oracle Moldiah, Pilgrim's Eye. So it's getting me that +1 on my artifact and going to search for land. Flicker effect here. Is there any flickers? Nope, we're still not into those yet. Replicating rings, that could be amazing if you make it 8 turns into it. But if you have your token doublers, so you're using Any of the ones I was talking about from before, doubling season, parallel lives wouldn't put one or more tokens on them, but that won't work. Primal Vigor would work. No, it's 1/1 counters. So we'd get doubling season would do it. Tokens on if a great choice of many tokens, so I wouldn't do it there. I think doubling season would be my only hit on that. One or more tokens on the battlefield under control, but twice that many. Yeah, so those are all putting the tokens there. Dueling Grounds. I recognize that one. That one, I'll have to check on that. I recognize that one. Dueling Grounds, writing that down. All right, let me get back to where I was. So Replicating Ring, yes, you could maybe get more counters on it a little bit quicker. If not, you're still getting 1 mana of any color. It is also an artifact, so that helps. Skyclave Relic, you do the kicker, you get 3 indestructible mana rocks. That seems pretty good. Gives you +3 on your Akiri. Soul Ring, Soul Talisman, Solum Simulacrum. We already talked about the sword. We already talked about that. Great Henge. This should probably be 2 green mana to cast, and then I'm just sitting pretty there. Treasure Map seems really good because if you get it to flip, you get the 3 treasures, so we get a +3 to that. Dig that a lot. So that is my ramp package. So I got 26. What do I normally want for ramp? I normally want 13 to 17. So we're a bit above, but some of these aren't rocks per se. So that's a good package we got there. Removal, we're going to want to get 5 to 15. So we are in that 5 to 15. We don't want to go down much more. This card seems crazy. When it enters the battlefield or deals damage to a player, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent. So that can be your own or it could be somebody else's. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may cast it. Whenever another player casts a spell anywhere other than from their hand, draw a card. So if they're casting that exiled spell, you get to draw a card for that. Or, like I was talking about the ETB effects, you can do it to your own stuff, cast it again, get the second one, get your second Dockside Extortionist. This just seems like a solid ad. And it's flying, so it's enters and or deals combat damage. So you can most likely get 2 things, and it's to a player, exile 1 target on that permanent. Here's the other fun part about this. It doesn't have to be the player attacking. So you can politics this if everybody has blockers, but you have flying, so you probably will be able to get through. But you could go, hey, don't block this so we can get rid of X, Y, and Z or whatever. So this could be pretty interesting there. Oseju, it's just got to be added in there. I may even add the white one in. Red one is meh. If they made artifact tokens, that'd have been sweet, but they aren't. Chandra's Ignition deals damage equal to the power. That's going to be crazy with Akiri. So that's pretty good in there. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Create a treasure token. So I'm destroying something. It's not at instant speed, but I am getting a treasure token out of it. We'll see how that one goes. Plundering Barbarian. ETB effect. Destroy target artifact or create a treasure token. So there's one of our ETBs right there. Prize Fight. This is an instant, so it potentially can be a removal, especially if Akiri is big enough, but it's fighting, so Akiri could potentially die because the first strike stuff doesn't take effect. But you do get to make a treasure token. So one creature you control and one creature you don't control. Vandal Blast, destroy everybody else's stuff. Fun stuff. Visions of Ruin. This is each opponent sacrifice an artifact. For each artifact sacrificed this way, create a treasure token. And then I can do it again for the flashback later. It costs X less, where it's the greatest mana value of commander. So if I cast Kodama, no, it's not even cast. Value you own on the it has to be on the battlefield or in the command zone. So this is already going to be 6 less. So this is going to be 4. So it costs 4 to do it once, 4 to do it again. And then I can get potentially 3, 6 treasure tokens. This is like easy add in this deck. This is like fantastic in partners. You just get one really high one and one low one, and then it's just, what? Yeah, okay. That's our removal. Let's get into the fun business of this whole thing. This is where everything kind of comes together of what we're doing here. So we got Academy Manufactor, like we talked about before. You create a clue, food, or treasure. Create one of each instead. We talked about big score already. Bootlegger's stash is going to be insane. Rass's bounty is going to be insane. I finally have a use for this gal because I was never using her before, but whenever she attacks, create a treasure token with, create a treasure token. You can sacrifice, or whenever you sacrifice a treasure, it gets 1+0. The problem I didn't like with her is she could be killed so easily. Yeah, she has haste, but once you do that one attack or your surprise attack, people are ready for her and she's going to die. But in this, I might not mind attacking with her once for free. Somebody, is all tapped out. I get my treasure token. Next turn I attack again. I get 2 treasure tokens off of that. I can't complain too much on that. It could be scary too because of how... Oh, I think my music is done. Did we go through the music? We're already that long? We did. Look at that. We're going to start this over again. Boop. I messed with my settings from before, so... Tyson's giving me an eggplant. Thanks, buddy. So I think she might have some use here. I think it's definitely something that can be used. We talked about her. There's your dockside extortionist. The flicker effect is going to be nice with that. We got another ETB with a flicker effect that could work. You could create a citizen or a treasure token. So got that. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. This is just really good. You create a 2/2 shaman that whenever it attacks, you get a treasure token. So as long as you can keep that alive, you can keep getting tokens, kind of like our captain up here. So it's the same casting cost for this, but this has bonus off of it. You can discard up to 2 cards. If you do, draw that many cards. And then its flip side is turning into a Krinko. So create a token that's a copy of another non-legendary creature you control, except it has haste, sacrifice it. So let's just make a copy of Dockside. So we're getting more of that flicker effect stuff. So this is perfect in this deck. Eggplant. All right. Forging the Tyrate. Kid can't even read. Do I have my buttons that? No, I don't have it ready. But your first 2 turns, you create a treasure token. Then you flip it and you're searching for the god, which he's not in here, or an equipment card, and put that into your hand. So we have enough equipment that could help a little bit. Get the equipment that I need. I can get my game winner at that point. I could go for Unblockable and Shroud. There's a lot of stuff you can go for with that. So I like this in here. Again, it is a tutor, but it fits in theme, and it isn't like casting it and getting it right away. It's got to go 3 turns before I get it. The Gala Greeters are pretty sweet. Playing creatures, getting treasure tokens is always good. If you're doing more than that, you're gaining life and getting a counter. So that's pretty good. This guy, I can't believe it's at common. Like, it's a kind of a crazy common card. English mofo. So this one is crazy because after your first turn, here's tapping and creating treasure tokens. I just think it's good. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but I guess for 4, I can see why it's common there. But had you put this at 3, this probably could have been a rare. Like, that's pretty good. All right, Goldspan Dragon. Yeah, that's going to be sick with this. Whenever it attacks, it becomes a target of a spell. Create a treasure token. Your treasures have tap to add 2. So this is just going to be sick in this. This is, you turn this into a creature, and then whenever it deals combat damage to player, create that many, or create treasure tokens for how many artifacts they control. This could get pretty nasty pretty quick. This one I'm not so sure about. We're rolling dice, but you're going to get a treasure token, so it's on the attack. So what do we have? That's 3. You potentially are getting anywhere from most likely 1 to 2 treasures. On the occasion, you'll get 3, but probably not. And it's just a 3/3. So that's not too bad. It's kind of fitting with that and with our Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I like it. First part of this is whenever a creature you control attacks this turn, create a 1/1 citizen. It's tapped and attacking. But the aftermath is create a treasure token for each creature you control that dealt combat damage to a player this turn. So if you have enough creatures that are dealing damage, you could get a lot of treasures just off of that. So that seems pretty decent there. Gain control of a creature, untap it, you create a treasure. So for 4, you're stealing a creature, and getting a treasure token. Is that good enough to be in here? No, I don't think I'm going to use that actually. We're going to go to considering there. When it enters the battlefield, so for 3, we're getting a Vigilance Trample, get a treasure token. It's not bad. Magda's self-explanatory. It seems weird to have her in here, but whenever a dwarf, if she becomes tapped, I get a treasure. But I don't even have to do that. I could sacrifice the 5 treasures, go search for an artifact or a dragon card. Most likely it's going to be another artifact card. It isn't going to be like the Magda deck where you're just all protection, whatever, but this can help me in theme, especially because it's treasures, find something that I actually need. Master of Ceremonies, I already talked about that. Monologue tax, obvious. We're making treasure tokens, has to be in here. Old Gnawbone. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, create that many treasures. Pretty sick. Pretty sick in this, especially with a Voltron kind of commander. We went through these guys already and that. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you gain a life. Yeah, is that a good enough bonus? You get a treasure. Yeah, it's a better bonus than the other 2. Why am I even thinking about it? This is better than this because we're gaining life as well with creatures coming into play. Prosperous Partnership. This is a way you can tap creatures to gain more treasure tokens. It comes in, you get 2 creatures. So this is another way to generate some more tokens to get your Akiri bigger. You can get anything with Magda. You can even get a boat. You know how much we wanted one of those. That's a good one. Ragavan. Like it. You're getting treasure. You're getting card advantage by looking at that player's top of their library. Obvious add in there. I really like this card. I wanted this on. This was in the mix of thinking of our top 10. But for 5, it enters, you get 2 treasures. First spell you cast each turn. If you cast it with a treasure, it gains Cascade. So it's like it's a card advantage there. You're going right into the next card with that. You just sacrifice one of your treasures. Most likely you're hitting something with treasure involved with it as well. It's a crazy good card, especially when you're playing treasures. Rose Room Treasurer. We talked about this guy. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, this is the first 2 times you do it, you get a treasure token. After the 3rd time you do it, you get to start paying X and doing damage to any target. So this is most likely just generating tokens because I'm not going to be, or treasures, because I'm not going to be casting a lot of creatures out or having a lot of tokens under the battlefield. But it does have that potential. Like if I cast one I just talked about, Prosperous Partnership, that creates the 2 tokens. Now, if I just cast one more creature, it's doing a lot because then you got to pay X after that. But in theory, you have all those treasure tokens. You could sacrifice them all. I'll kill somebody. So you could do your attacks first. After your attack's done, your second main phase, then go through and cast your third or make your 3rd creature token come into the battlefield. Use up all that mana that all your treasures and direct damage kills shot somebody. So that could be interesting. Seize the Spotlight. We talked about this before or this week. Is in our top 10. For each opponent chooses Fame or Fortune. For each player who chose Fame, gain control of a creature that player controls. So I cut that other one, but this is hitting all the players. So most likely, not every single player is going to want you to steal their creature because you get to choose each one of those. And then for each person that chooses Fortune, you draw a card and create a treasure token. So that just seems like a no-brainer, a treasure deck. Shiny Impetus. So we're going to go creatures. We're going to get treasure tokens. This seems easy in here. Smothering Tithe. Duh. Smuggler's Share. Our top card in the commander list. At the beginning of each end step, draw a card for each opponent who drew 2 or more cards, and then create a treasure token for each opponent who had 2 or more lands enter. So if any of your play group plays with fetches, we do. Oh, good for us.
Oh, good for you.
You're going to get treasure tokens off of this, and it's only 3 to come out, so it's just crazy. Sticky Fingers. It adds evasiveness. So I'll throw this on Akiri. It gains menace, and then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. And when enchanted creature dies, I draw. So I will get a little bonus if they kill my Akiri. So this is easy add on Akiri there. We got, basically three. Well, no, we got Menace, Vigilance, and First Strike. So it gives a little bit, makes it even more crazy with that. Stimulus package. 4, you get 2 treasure tokens. You can sacrifice a treasure to make 1/1 token. So this is kind of cool because let's say somebody does a Vandal Blast to you and is destroying all your artifacts. Well, then you're like, fuck, okay. Sacrifice a treasure, get a 1/1. Sacrifice all my treasures, turn them into 1/1. So now you've flipped it from Akiri being so big with how many treasures you have out there to now you have that much power spread wide. So you go wide instead of Voltron all of a sudden in one fell swoop. So I like this card a lot. Stormkill and Artist. This also depends. No. It doesn't depend on my instant sorceries because at the very least it gets 1+0 for each artifact I control. So it's just like Akiri. We got a 4th effect now, 4th or 5th effect of creatures doing that same thing. So this is for sure going to be in this deck. Tireless Provisioner. If you haven't picked up these, get these. Foil, because these will go up. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, you get to choose a food or a treasure. Personally, I know Tireless Tracker is used in a bunch of other stuff. I like that you have the option with this one. I'm most likely going to create a treasure, but I like this one a lot. I'm not saying it's better, but it's right there with Tireless Tracker. I got a bunch of these in foil after once I thought the bottom was there, and it's I don't know if it's come up since then. Does this show foil? Foil's at $3.49. Yeah, you can get these for pretty cheap, and this will probably easily for foil be a $10 card in a couple of years. So we already saw that, and then we have another dwarf here. Exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a treasure token. I'm not going to be recurring a lot of my creatures, so I'm fine with this guy kind of killing it. The only thing is I'm wondering about, right now I have 52 creatures. Obviously, that's not going to stay the same because I have 52 creatures, 52 artifacts, 24 enchantments, and then sorceries and instants. So that's not going to stay the same. This will depend on how many creatures I'm actually playing. So we'll see how where that goes at the end. We already talked about that. And then Zorn, if you create one or more treasure tokens, create an additional one instead. That goes in there. And then the last two, some of my sack engines, which actually this should be in a sack engine here. But enters the battlefield, create 2 food or a number of food tokens equal to the number of opponents. So let's just say ideally you're playing this, it's only 3, and you get 3 food tokens. Now, if you have other things that enhance that, like your Academy Manufactor, you're creating 6 things. You're getting 3 food, 3 treasure, 3 clue. Well, let's just say you're most likely getting 3 food. Well, 3, and I'm pumping my Akiri by 3. At the beginning of my end step, I may pay 2 and sacrifice a token if I want. I can create a 4/4. It's a token. It's not necessarily a food. You can sacrifice anything that is a token and create a 4/4 Rhino. So that's kind of cool in itself. And then lastly, the main thing with this gal is being able to sacrifice my artifacts or creatures to go target creature. So that has a way of getting rid of my treasures. Again, that's if somebody's like, destroy all enchant or artifacts, Vandal Blast. Well, now I'm going to goad your creature in the process of my sacking or everything getting destroyed. Okay. That took a little bit. We got through it. It's like an hour in. We got through all the cards. Now we are at what? 174 balls. Oh yeah. Let's look at some of these cards that we talked about. Where are they going to pop up? I think they pop up at the bottom. So let's look at some of these suggestions. So we got Slag Strider. Let's see how that guy looks. Nope, they don't pop. Oh, there he is. Okay. Affinity for artifacts, so he's going to cost less. Sacrifice an artifact, deals 1 damage to any target. That's a way to sacrifice any target. Let's move. We're adding cards. It's affinity for artifacts, so it costs 1 less. Yeah, so it could be down to 2, and you can sack things and do direct damage. All right, let's throw it in the sack stuff. Dig that one. Makeshift. I know that one. What is makeshift? Makeshift. Oh, yep. So similar thing to here. This is on an enchantment. Deals 1 damage to any target. We can add it over there. Sack. And we got correct. Whoops. It is the shaman. Each creature, so you're hitting your own stuff. I don't know if I like that one so much because it'll kill my Akiri because he only has a toughness of 3. So that one I won't keep in there. It's a little dangerous. Sharpen. Yep. Nope, that wasn't the right word. Sarpen. No, that wasn't the right one. What did we have there? Was Sarpen? Oh, it's SH. SHARPE. Nope, that's not the right one. SHRAP. RA. Look at that. RAP. Oh, is it shrapnel? It's shrapnel. I can read. Sacrifice an artifact deals damage. I don't want that one in there either. I mean, I guess that is a little bit of removal. Yeah, I don't want that one in there necessarily. Martyr's Bond is the white one, I believe, right? That gets rid of... Oops. It is MART. YR. Yeah, it is like an emergency button. Another artifact. Oh, I like this one actually to fit in here. That's a good ad because you're sacrificing your treasures. Non-land permanent you control is put in the graveyard. Yes, I like that as an ad. This is the best one I like so far for my removal. And actually, those other ones should be removal instead of sack, I would say. Let's do this. Because that will work perfect with sacking your artifacts and you're just wiping everybody else's artifacts. I dig that. Fangren. Martyr. What is that? Whenever an artifact is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, you may gain 5 life. Oh. Man, if he wasn't 6. I'm going to put him as a considering. I like that. You could sacrifice all your treasures and gain that much life. Yeah, that could be pretty good. Dueling Grounds. No more than 1 creature may attack each turn. No more than 1 creature may block. Yeah, if I'm sticking to the Voltron, that would actually be good. I'm going to put that on sideboard as well, or considering as well. And then Rumor Gatherer. Oh, yeah. That's the one that Lowery likes a lot. Yeah, again, though, this is why I didn't put in Beast Whisperer. Whenever another enter that. I don't know how many creatures are going to enter, so I'm going to do this to considering as well. But if I did tokens, like if I was doing this, I would draw or scry and then draw off of that. You're going to want to be cheating stuff in with Kodama. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point as long as I... What is my casting cost so far? What do we got? 2 point... My average deck is 2.5 for their total CMC, everything. Okay, so let's start getting some things figured out here. So I don't really have a recursion package in here. I have the main idea. We have pet cards. We have protection. What do we got for protection? Sometimes that's an easier one to go after. I'm not sure about Underworld Cookbook. I don't know how much I want to just be discarding for food tokens necessarily. So we got a lot to cut. So we're gonna get rid of a lot of stuff here. Let's jump down to protection. All right, so protection. We need 5 to 9. I have 12. Let's see. We got a lot of no-brainers in here. My protection might have to stay though. So we have flicker effects. These two are kind of doing a similar thing, flickering out my stuff. I guess my thought is with Teamer Sabertooth, it gains the indestructible. Oh, but there's some potential of really broken stuff with that. Teamer just can go infinite with Dockside. That might not be something I want in there. That seems almost too easy. If somebody has 3 or more artifacts, right? Am I getting that right? No, I need more than that. Because you got Dockside's 3. This costs 2. So if they have 6 artifacts, I'm able to continuously do it over and over and over and get infinite amount of tokens. I don't like having combos like that in there. And 6 isn't that... That's all players. 6 artifacts and enchantments. Ugh, yeah, that's too easy. We'll put it to sideboard though, just to have one of the things that it's pretty good. That'd be sick. Deflecting SWAT is always good to protect your commander. I have a little bit more protection than that because I do have Swiftfoot boots. Oh, I do have that in there. I didn't put Lightning Greaves on there. I don't know why I didn't add in protection there. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna hit much more of my protection at this point. Let's hit up some of this equipment stuff. These are my evasiveness stuff. Are these just not good enough to do? Like, I don't know. The equipment here, so I'm getting a +1 to mine, plus it gives you a +1. And if my creature gets through, I don't have to put it on Akiri. I could put this on something else that's getting through maybe and getting treasures from that gets bigger. Same with this guy. Are those good enough to be in here? Let's do this really quick. I want to see how many ETB creatures we have in this deck, because that kind of matters for my flicker effect stuff. And if I'm really having any of that. So that's the beginning of combat. Gilded Goose will get 1. So there's 1. It's not a crazy one though. No. He has kind of an ETB, but you also get it from him attacking. I'm not going to write it down. ETBs. Keeper of the Accord is... I don't know if it's going to make it in. I really don't know if I want that in or not, because I think what I actually be lacking is the amount of creatures is kind of what I'm thinking here. So I'm still at 1 ETB. 2. 3. That's only when it attacks. 4. It's a big 4. 5. That would be considered if you're flickering a bunch of them. 6. No. No. 7. 8. All right, we're getting quite a few. 9. They're not as crazy as I was kind of thinking, you know? They aren't like all dockside extortionist stuff. Okay, and then 10. Okay. I actually can move that to the considering instead of sideboard. So we have 10 ETB effects. Oh, there's one there too. 11. Is that it? So we have 11 ETB effects. Infiltration Lens. The reason why I like that is because most likely people are going to block Akiri. You know, they're going to try to chump block her. And then you draw 2 cards off of that. And she has... The first strike is going to help her stay alive. So I'm fine with that. What other stuff do I... I mean, Gara, I just like that card. No, it doesn't fit in the theme necessarily. These 2 are good. Part where I get a little bit is... yeah, doubling season's good. You know, doubling season is always good when you're dealing with tokens. Panharmonicon. Okay, so if an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability, does an additional time. If an artifact or a creature entering the battlefield. Okay, so we've established there's 11 artifacts or creatures. Is that enough to have Panharmonicon in here? Because we got a lot of these kind of things where it's instants and sorceries and kill Akiri so many times. You have to kill her a lot. All right. Let me get down to Mono Rocks here. What do we got for Mono Rocks again? I was way over on that. Ramp was 13 to 17. So this is definitely... These are good. I don't think I'm necessarily going... but I am going to play Plane Fetches. Let's get Keeper of the Accord out of there. Lotus Bloom, just... I don't like the sacrifice part of it. Necessarily. Metalworker will be good. Mox Amber, it's a 0. And my commander's only 2, so Mox Amber should be pretty cheap, most likely. Oracle Moldiah, always playing. That's good. Gain life there. Do we take land tax out? Search your library for up to 3 basic land cards. No, this might stay in there because it's not plains. That was the only difference with the other one. You think Panharmonicon? Yeah, I do too, actually, because I think it's too focused on... I only have 11 ETB things that are artifacts or creatures. Yeah, I actually think so too. What was I going to say? Oh, so this is play with additional lands on each of your turns. So we got 2 additional, 3 additional. That's playing lands off the top, which is nice. How many actual rocks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I want 13 to 17. And all our other stuff is just Pilgrim's Eye. Yeah, you're probably right there. Remove. Solemn is nice. We get a bump and a land off of it. Dies, draws. That's cool. Sword. We're gonna attach it to my Akiri, and you're gonna get to basic land, put it into play tap, so that helps with that. Is there anything else that stands out? Crucible is so-so, but I'm gonna be playing like 5 to 6 or more fetches, so Crucible is gonna be nice being able to bring those back. So I kind of want that to stay. But then if I have this in here, why am I not playing Reminette? Well, it's because it's an artifact, so that helps. There's anything else that's standing out? Treasure map is... I like treasure map a lot, especially this is fitting in the theme. It's treasures. Removal was fine, right? I honestly think these two I might need to chop. I do like that you can sacrifice to do 1 damage. Sacrifice an artifact. I like this sacrifice an artifact or a creature. And it's a lot cheaper. I don't know. Well, affinity, it should be cheaper. But this is for sure 2, you know. An Hearth and Home. Solemn, I think, can get a cut. You think so? Solemn, though, like, just adds with that. I think I might cut one of these. We'll get that considering. If I'm keeping one, it'd be this one, because then I can sacrifice artifact or a creature. We'll get to Solemn in a little bit. Let's kind of go through these. There were some in here that I might be able to chop here. Do I have any other? I don't think I have enchantment removal. So I almost feel like I have to keep that on there. Yeah, so they're not in there twice. What it is they're in 2 categories. So it's not counting. I still have 170 cards in here. So it's not. No, Solemn's not a pet card. Solemn is a nice artifact bump in this. So Solemn is normally good because you get the land and the draw as a chump blocker. But in this, he gets 3 bonuses. He gives me 1+0 for Akiri. He gives me a land. And he gets me potentially a draw. So that's my only because I don't have him in every single deck. We'll move him to sideboard. How about that? It's the first sideboard. Everything else has been considering. So we're down to 22. We need to get down to 17, kind of. Crucible of Worlds, I'm going to go sideboard for a little bit on that guy. We need to cut stuff. That's what needs to happen. I like to have answers for everything, and the problem is this is my only enchantment removal besides... really, it is this. So I don't like that. I don't like that I only have one thing that's going to remove an enchantment, because it could really fuck me over. I don't know if this is strong enough to be in here necessarily. Counterpoint, it only gets you 1 land. It only blocks once. It only draws you 1. Correct, yeah. But it does give me a bump on it a little bit. We'll get this one to sideboard too. Getting 2 treasure tokens off of this could be good. Yeah. But imagine if you're getting that like turn 2 or 3 and you have a long game and then you hit and then you're kind of waiting for him to hit. You get, if it has 8 or more counters, remove all of them and create 8. So then you give an 8+0 bump to Akiri. I know that's like wishful thinking, but for this to at the very least give me 1 mana of any color, I feel like it kind of fits in this pretty good. And potentially if I did have Doubling Season out, that'd be the only one that would pop that one a little bit bigger. Yeah, no, I get what the getting more lands. I wasn't thinking the sword isn't getting cut. The sword for sure. None of the swords are. Animus is that'll stay on there. It's the same cost. Yeah, those are staying on there. So I like the idea of this one hitting potentially Magical Christmas. Yes, for sure. Is there anything else that would bump it though? My concern right now is that I only have this. Oh no, I do have. I have two removal for enchantments, I guess, on my land. I got to destroy artifact there. So I'm definitely going to keep him in, as it gives me that option of two different things. All right, let's start going through the main stuff like we were doing before. Let's see. So that's creating a citizen or treasure for 3. It's okay. We're down to this guy. This one's 3/3 trample. Vigilance getting the treasure. So there's a flicker a little bit there. I keep coming back to this guy because he's not an instant, but it is giving me that draw a little bit. So this is why it's hard for me to cut stuff. I think I'm gonna get rid of Vault Robber. That one's gonna be considering instead. All these seem pretty good. I don't think Prize Fighter is gonna help me much. That one aside. So we're at 39 treasures. What do we got for main theme? 15 to 25. I don't know much of a side theme I'm going to have here. This guy I think is just good. For a common. Okay, let's start back up at the top. What do we got down 165? Fuck, we really got to start cutting shit. All right, so tokens. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, investigate. I have low casting cost, so I should be able to cast more than one. I don't know if this guy is going to make the cut. How many multicolors do I have? I think there's a pie chart down here. Maybe not. I can do a quick count. 1, 2, 3. 4. Yeah, this is really not looking like enough. 5. He's not going to be enough. 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope. Doesn't make the cut. Beginning of combat in your turn if you commander. Get a 1/1 Thopter. Deals combat damage. I like that. There's a little bit of a removal built on it. Let's add a tag onto her. Parallel lives. Creating more tokens. For each non-token attacking creature. Could potentially get him 2+0 bump. Tamio's Journal. We get back to Tamio. The one thing I will say about Tamio's Journal is it does have that potential tutor that I don't use very often, you know? But how many clues am I actually making? If it's just making it with this, is that worth it? Investigate. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think those are my main ones. So I have 5 others that are investigating. Roar of Challenge. Is that where you're requesting a card? Is that what you're saying? Roar of Challenge? All creatures able to block target creature do so this turn. I mean, that's a way, it's a quick spell to get through. The problem is I'd rather it'd be something that would give the bump to it, you know? Like my equipment that stays with it, you know, if I miss or whatever. So Whisper Silk Cloak is unblockable, and then it has the protection, and it gets a 1+0 bump. So I kind of dig that a little bit better. A lot a bit better. I like these 3 in there. All right. So part of me is thinking I need to move these treasure things off. We're going to go sideboard with that. Sideboard with this guy. Because most of the time, Akiri's not most of the time. I'm trying to get Akiri through, but she might not actually get through very often. They're going to try to chump block as much as possible. I think I'm okay with the other equipment that's sitting there. Yeah, the one-sided board wipe. Well, yeah, if you're going with Akiri and it's big enough. I was more thinking that you would attack with a chump and then get your Akiri through is what I like. Yeah, removal, I am sitting at 9. And I want between 5 and 15. So I have, as far as creatures go, 1, 2, 3 doing direct damage with stuff. Is there anything else that would deal the damage? Not direct. Oh, there. Oh, let's add that. That would be removal too. Ooh, sorry. Goading. Kusari Gama. I'll check that one out. It deals that much damage to each other creature defending player controls. Oh, that's actually not bad. Yeah, because that would, so 3 and 3. Gets 1+0 until end of turn. To a blocking creature, deals that much. Yeah, that'd be a good, I like that one for equipment. It's a good way to pretty much board wipe it because you're attacking with your first striker. They're going to try to all out block at that point. Okay. See, and I kind of, stuff like Embercleave is either a game winner or could potentially be a killer as well because it's a surprise and you're double striking it. So I kind of like that there. Okay. We're not cutting a lot here. We got to get some stuff gone. Scroll rack. I like it a lot, but I feel like I need to move that out of there. Then we'll go to sideboard. We're going to go... I don't like that this is a sorcery. But for 4, you're drawing 2 and 2 treasure tokens. That is pretty good. How many effects do we have with drawing off of your creatures? So we have... That costs 5. That costs 5. This is an instant. This is a sorcery. And that is a sorcery for 6, but then you get to pop something for... We're going to get this one. We have a lot going right there, so I'm fine with that. So we have 3 things going there. Let's move this over to sideboard as well. Sacrifice 3 artifacts, search your library for an artifact card, put that on the battlefield and shuffle. Okay, so that's a better... Here we go. I think it's just better than Tamiyo's. I mean, it is. Sacrifice 3. This is clues. So let's pop this one to sideboard as well. Yeah, you're right. What did we figure out? We had 11 ETBs. That was why I started counting that as well. Blade of Cells, where are you? Yep, that's a good point. The only way that that's really helping is... I mean, we have 11 of them. We'll get this to sideboard instead of considering. Multiples of those is fine. Everything else is good there. I think we're solid on this equipment list. 12 of those. I think that would be my side theme in this. 7 to 9. So we're a little bit, like we have protection built in on there as well. So we keep that like that. 158. We're getting down there. So close. Not really. We're so far away. I mean, those last like 8 cuts are just brutal. All right, so we got landfall triggers. We have 3 things that are doing landfall triggers. Sometimes I feel like these double token things are too much, but I'm generating so many different tokens that these aren't going to be like, these are going to be good. 3 of those. Is that one worth it? No. Did I already get through the mix again? How is that going so fast through that? Jeez. All right, let's play it one more time. I'm probably going to go for another 20 minutes or so. We'll see how many cuts we can get here. All right, I think SRAMs needs to go. Yeah, it's generating 3, and then you cast something for 3. It's just, there's servo tokens. 1 or more tokens. That's good. It's a little high casting, but I think it's fine there for right now. Hellkite Tyrant. I mean, it does have built-in 20 more artifacts. You win the game. This is going to generate tokens each turn. Creature attacks you or planeswalker in control. So I'm curious if how many people are actually going to attack me. But it's for each creature. You get to get a clue. But see, the thing is with Akiri, has vigilance. So she's most likely going to be on tap. So are they really going to be attacking me? I want to play Mangara the Diplomat, but does not fit necessarily in what I'm doing. I'm going to do sideboard with that. I love Mangara. I really want Mangara to be in this. Infiltration Lens. That was part of my draw. The other thing I want to point out, Urza Saga's in here, so we do create potentially 2 of those construct tokens. So now we have 6 different things that are getting bonuses from how many artifacts you have. So there's almost a side theme going on there. A side theme. Okay, protection's good. We got our Monorox, 21. Ramp 13. So how many did I say officially? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 of them. And we're playing with how many artifacts in here so far? 42. So Metalworker's going to work. We're playing 3 colors, so I want things like these in here. That, and that. Being able to play off the top of my library to get those other lands. I don't think I mess with ramp much at this point. I think this guy's fine in there. It gives me my direct damage. We have 2 enchantment removals. We have how many creature potential removal? 1, 2, 3, potentially 4, 5. Okay, I'm good with that. I think my removal package is sitting pretty good. 5 to 15. I'm just a little iffy on I have 2 enchantment things. Could be tough. I will get my recursion on my land. I'm going to play, and I don't know if I put it in here. The one that has the regrowth on one side. And then the other side, the land. So that'll probably make it in as one of my land spots. Okay, so we're good with removal. Treasure, we're really high on that, 38. he's continuously making it. I like that better than this guy. It's 3-drop. Every turn he's making it. So this is just a one-time thing. Get that to sideboard. Where's my other one? I know there was a second one in there. See, things that are going to continuously do it, like this guy, every time I attack I get a treasure. I like that. ETB. That's another one. Kind of keeping my treasures on the sideboard because I might still use them. I like that. This is each turn. Ones that are getting me more than one I like. Because now that I'm getting rid of a lot of the ETB stuff, I might change up my protection stuff. She always goes. I always get rid of her. Like, because it's like Fabled Mirror Breaker. You're getting a treasure off of that. But I see what you're saying. Where was my protection again? I want to check something out. So you have him and him. They're both instants. But they're protection. That's for my creature too. Remove each creature control from the game. This one at least lets me choose. Those might stay. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so you think the captain should be gone. Let's move it over to sideboard. Is this worth it? You have a 4 for a 3/3. See, at least the captain gives you haste. And then you potentially get 2 treasure tokens. I'll go sideboard with him too. Gaining life anytime a creature enters the battlefield. Is that enough? You gain a treasure token and that. So you're getting the treasure token and then each time a creature's entering. That might not be good enough because I don't know if I have enough creatures in the end. Sideboard with that as well. I mean, it might. So we'll see what happens there. This guy has the entering with a token or destroying an artifact. I can keep that in there. This would come in handy if I had more of the sack outlets like the this guy that you suggested. I don't think there's I have a couple others, but it'd be more for artifacts. Anybody else here? 3 for 3 food tokens. And creating 4/4s. Oh, that'd be a good set. These are good sack outlets for if I steal stuff. Number of food tokens equal to the number of opponents. What are we down to? We're almost at 150. It is. I like Ragavan. I guess I haven't gotten him out enough to figure out if I really like him or not. Because even late game, if somebody's all tapped out, except the thing is they're probably not going to be tapped out. It has to deal combat damage. At player's library until end of turn. He might be right. So if they are all tapped out, then my Akiri is probably going to kill them. So you're probably right, actually. Ragavan is going to be tough in that spot. What I'm trying to do, and I have to get this through my head, is that I'm just trying to generate as many tokens out there while at the same time surviving. Like, am I making enough tokens to keep my stuff alive? I do have to keep enough protection so that my commander just doesn't get killed. God, it doesn't feel like I have to cut 50 more cards. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, how am I going to cut 50 cards from this? Part of me, it goes to these. Like, I feel like there's too many of these, but I need token generators, right? I need doublers. And having 4 of them potentially gets you to hit things a lot quicker. But search the premises whenever a creature or planeswalker attacks creature you control. Because I'm going to be on the attack, and I have a vigilance dude. I feel like that's a sideboard guy. Whenever you attack, investigate. Sacrifice a clue. So I am attacking. We'll see. I kind of want to keep this in because the dungeons are going to be... We're going to get different dungeons here, and, you know, this might get revamped. It might be after the Dungeons and Dragons Commander Legends comes out. I'll probably revamp this again. It'll probably be a switcheroo. Cut Primal Vigor. It helps opponents. Oh, that's a good point. Oh, that's a good point. Yep. Let's get rid of that. Parallel Lives, Anointed Procession, same card, different colors. Those three could probably be good just to stay in there. I like that. This is making multiples a turn. I always like that. I keep going back to her like, oh, I should cut her, but it has the built-in dealing 1 damage to any target. And it's dealing damage. It doesn't need to do it to a player whenever it deals damage. That is actually pretty good. Too bad that, what's his nuts? Academy Manufacturer didn't include blood tokens because that would have been sweet. This is a good ad. I like Martyr's Bond. I forgot about that card to get some removal because that'll clear artifacts out. So I have 48 cards to cut still. I think I have to get rid of. Sideboard that. I like these two in there because the sacking to destroy or do things with it. Sacrifice artifact or creature. Sacrifice artifact creature. I like those being in there. Getting treasures there. Gosh, these dang bugs. Gotta squish him. It just keeps bugging me. All right. Box elders are going crazy here. I vacuumed them up all day. We sprayed outside and they're just everywhere. All right, let's go through some of these cards again. We know these are good. Bootleggers, yes. Be nice if he was an artifact. Yep. Treasure token and searching for it. That helps a little bit. Get some of those equipments that I might need. Monologue tax. Sure. Opponent casts their second spell each turn. You create a treasure token. It's not as broken as Smothering Tithe, but it's still there. That'll be crazy. Player. Yeah. For sure. That's there. Enters the battlefield 2. Tokens 3. Create treasure. Yep. That's token generation a little bit there. Like, all these seem pretty solid to have in here. Like, I don't know if I want to mess with my treasure package as much. I'm not sure how this will work out. I think it'll work out pretty good. But people aren't going to want you to steal their stuff, you know? So I feel like, and that's good removal. Good draw there. One or more treasure tokens, so it kind of adds to our token doubler a little bit. So we have 4 different things that give you doublers on this. Let's try to get down to 140. Oh, there's another bug. I get this one. It's like they're going for the computer. Like, they want these magic cards. Get out of here. Sorry, half of this is me squishing bugs. All right, let's try to get 7 more cuts, and I may do some extra cuts in between the next time I do this, but I do want to try to get this deck done because I have another deck I want to work on from New Capenna, so I want to get this sucker done. Okay, so we cut the equipment that did whenever it deals combat damage to a player. It does add a little bit of evasiveness, though, with adding menace to that. Is that good enough? We'll move that to sideboard. 2 treasure tokens, sacrifice. Yeah, that's that. Okay. Let's start moving back up again. Removal, we're good. This doesn't fit in what I'm doing anymore now. Like, I do have a couple things that are flicker stuff, but not a lot. So this one no longer seems like it's relevant for this. It does have my creature removal, but we have damage, damage, damage. The thing is they could still cast their creature. It just kind of sets them back a turn. So we're gonna do that one to considering, but that's pretty much my removal there. And the interesting thing is with Martyr's Bond, if I can get my creatures dead, then I can do a little bit more with that. Okay, let's look at our ramp a little bit here. My solids are there. Mox Amber I feel is solid. Monocrypt is solid. Solid, solid, solid. Mox Opal. 3 or more artifacts. I should have that. Tantalite. Suspend 0. So if I get that early, I can drop that as something. We do get back to Replicating Ring and Talisman. So that's Suspend 1. So I was wondering if I got Kodama out, if this would come out. But at that point, if I'm getting Kodama out and these are coming out for free, does that make sense? You know, because Kodama's 6. So if I'm having Kodama and he's out now, I'm playing a treasure and I'm playing these for free, I get 2. These might not be worth it. Mox Tantalite, sideboard as well. 19, we need to be at 17, but what do we have for official ramp though? It's 1. That's a big one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Land tax. I want to keep that in for my other colors. Ooh, we're down to 143. Not bad, not bad. I wanted to cut this short at 11:30 my time. I'll be going for... I want to cut this at 2 hours. So we got 3 minutes to get these cuts. Let's get Ghostway out of here because I don't even get to choose on that one. So if I didn't want Akiri to... Like, if I wanted to flicker something else, we're not doing that anymore. So we'll get rid of that. This is my only flicker, but then I can choose exile any number, so I like that ability. We have 11 protection. We need 5 to 9. We're sitting good. We got our protection sitting pretty there. We need to do 2 more cuts, and then we'll call her a night. All right. Like the idea with that, like this, and that. So we got 2 of these abilities of drawing off of the power. I think those are solid. 15 draw. 7 to 15 draw is what I wanted. And I think there's even a little bit more in here. Convoke. End step if you create. Okay, the tokens are... Bruise Tar. Which one is that? Are you saying to add that? Bruise. You adding cards in? Is that one year? Oh no, I must have it on there. It was like, are we adding more? Where is he? Must have been where I was at. Where is he? Oh, which one is that? Sideboard. I'm just looking for the number 2 if I added it. How am I missing which one that is? Bruise. Oh, this guy. Okay. The other partner. Double strike, lifelink. Yeah, is that added? Yeah, you might be right. Yeah. The lifelink is... The double strike was kind of nice, but is it enough? You think it is? You think it? Dang it, I got rid of it. I do like the double strike because it could be a game winner if somebody's open. I'm going to keep him there for a sec. Did he go back to my spot? Okay, he's still there. The cool thing is I shouldn't have a lot of equipment, so eerie interludes should be fine. Like, it shouldn't pop things off. These are my, what, 1, 2, 3. I mean, we have a few, but so 12 in there. We need 2 cards, guys. 2 cards to cut. I'm already past my 2 hours now. Just cutting it right here. Vandal Blast is good. That's going to be good. I need that for my enchantment removal. I need that for my enchantment removal. So I like continuous. Draw a card and create a treasure token. What do you think people are going to choose with that? That's the hard part. We were having the discussion on that. Is I'm going to do sideboard with that. What are people going to choose with that? Treasure tokens, create those tokens plus an additional treasure token. Yeah, we want that. All right, one more cut. Yeah, I know. But imagine if it does. It's the East tree, isn't it? Aren't I the East tree, not the West tree? Yeah, it's the East tree. Why would I have the West tree in there? Replicating ring. The nice thing is it gives me any color. And then it has that potential magical Christmas. The Mox is good enough. Yeah, they're probably good enough to be in here. These are all good enough to be in here. Does Replicating Ring take over, like, land tax? Untapped. Each player adds for each artifact they control. This can just be sick. All right, we'll put it to sideboard so we can we can get to my 140. So we cut 60 cards, I think, tonight. Woo! That was a lot, guys. Thank you guys for the help and suggestions and everything. So, all right, I need to cut it off here because, one, I'm getting tired. I need a little break to think about things a little more. What I like to do is do a big chunk and then come back to it, let my brain filter around ideas a little more, and sometimes I go more onto one thing than others, and so that's what I gotta kind of filter out now. So thank you guys for joining me. I don't know when I'll do this next. Probably, like I said before, it'll just be land tax might end up getting cut. We'll see what happens. But like I said, Lowery's gonna be potentially going Friday if he feels good. Doing his spotlight, and then this weekend's kind of busy, but it'll be random. Like, all of a sudden, if we don't have it planned out, we might be jumping on and just doing spotlight stuff because we both have a couple decks we want to work on, especially before SmithCon. We want to get some of these decks done so that we can play those when we are there. So just check out, if you aren't following us on Twitter or YouTube, it might be a hour warning, be like, hey, we're going live, but typically 9 o'clock. Just works for us with kids and everything. So thank you guys for joining me, and thanks for the help on that. Yeah, only 140 cuts to go. I only have 40 cuts to go. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So, and I appreciate the suggestions of actual suggestions, Dempsey. Thanks, Great Pack, for some of those suggestions there. So, all right, guys, you have a good night, and I will check you guys later. We'll see you. Bye. Sega!